today we're gonna go over what? None of the things in the video title, just a bunch of other stuff, right?
And just want to finish up my thought why I'm being late is I know it's notorious every single time we do live. I'm just being late. How is your workout doing, Joe?
I had double audio there. My workout, I didn't go yet. I had a weird. So my I told you before we started, my family is away, so I went to sleep at 8 o'clock at night, and then I woke up at 12, and then I went back to sleep at 4, and I woke up for this. So I'm gonna go to the gym after. But I've been doing pretty good. I pulled my hamstring on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna back off legs. It was a very slight pull. In the past, I've torn my hamstring, and that's about a 6 month, like a 6 month recovery if you don't have physical therapy, all that. So no, my diet is always good.
I'm getting quite fat.
Well, you're building. You might need
I'm building, but I am getting fat. So I was on holiday, and like I see my like actually like like growing the fat around here, you know. So
I'm the opposite of
and
you. I got pretty in shape fast. I've only been working out for like, I don't know, maybe like 6 weeks, 5 weeks. I started
no,
writing
I
my
think maybe you would be better than me. I
for
don't
now.
have that. I did my body check today. If someone wants to know, not sure how relevant are those.
That's body composition or blood test.
Yeah, body composition.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
we might look through it. It says so. I just want to make clear. It says today I was after breakfast that I have 12.1% body fat. I don't think it's 12.1. I think it's more like 14, 15, if I have to be honest, I
All
feel.
right. So when I was like first starting to work out, I was like 16 years old. 12% body fat was considered average for men, and women was more like 18. But now, in the current, where millennials are a big chunk of the population, they eat a lot of frozen food, like vegan burritos and whatever else they
So
like.
maybe it is 12 if it's average. Because I'm
It's
just
average, but for today's times, I bet you the average is more like 20, because like
oh
millenni-
easy.
millennials
Like
are very soft.
I mean if I compare to people I know, you know, how they look. I might have like some slight body dysmorphia there, maybe that like, you know, I'm like, yeah, I'm a little fat or so, you
I
know,
mean, that would
you always,
motivate you. I hope I get body dysmorphia. It would force me to go to
yeah.
the gym and diet more. Speaking of builders, we got some builders in the chat. We got Julius. He's been building Juno website for like 5 years. That should be coming out soon. We got Robo's there. Robo's been building a Twitter space that he forces people to listen to by threatening them.
I don't know why he's still attacking me on Twitter and
Who?
calling me
Robo?
handicapped.
Robo?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
By
it's
the way,
Robo.
we'll share my body composition. Another like body.
Ju-
Should I share it? Should I?
Oh,
It's
another builder in the chat is Tank. Tank is building a conference.
okay. I will share with Tank. Shut up. 82.3 kg. Skeletal muscle mass 41.1. Body fat mass 10 kg.
We're the same weight.
I used to work at 72 before. Then I get to like 66 because obviously body dysmorphia and diet obsession, and probably getting a little bit crazy. Then I worked at 75. Now just growing. So yeah, 41 kg muscle, 10 kg fat, and it's like came at 12.1%.
That's not
So
bad. I mean, I don't care about the numbers. I care about my goal right now is just to show up at the gym and do something. I'm keeping track, but I only started keeping track the last 2 weeks. I just go there, and if I don't do what's in my plan, I just change my plan. So the point is just show up, go to the gym, do something. Don't be a perfectionist, and don't act like
yeah,
a professional athlete when you're
no,
clearly
I'm not.
I'm clearly not. I'm clearly not.
I'm not doing this. So you know, I spend at the gym like 2 hours easily, 2.5,
Oh God, that's
and
way
I
too
do
much.
like 40 minutes workout.
Oh, okay, that's what I do. I do 40 minutes, but I'm only there for 45 minutes.
But I'm staying on the phone. I'm tweeting. I will, I will do a couple of these and then sit for 5 minutes and engage in the Twitter battle. So that's why I'm spending a lot of time at the gym, because I'm chilling there, right?
All right,
So
I mean, you're a bro.
but it's important to go because you will do at least. You
Well,
will.
we have some people. Actually, we just lost 5 people in the chat.
Because we don't talk crypto.
All right, let's start. I have some crypto news. I'll go through the crypto news, but first, if you're watching this on Twitter, stop watching it on Twitter. Share it on Twitter. Watch it on YouTube. Subscribe to both of the channels. Don't be a loser.
We
don't
can
buy.
give some of the health advices people in.
We
the
will,
chat.
but we'll do it we'll make them watch the whole thing, and we'll give the advice at the end. But I actually have a criticism for the chat. The last 2 times we did this, my microphone wasn't even on. My webcam microphone was picking up the audio. Nobody in the chat said anything. I think that's just like such a
now
weak...
my mic is not on.
I noticed that. That's why I brought it up. People in the chat, if you notice it's live, I don't have a team here, right? My team is off on Sundays. They only work Monday to Saturday. Just
same.
Let us know. So this is very off the cuff, and sometimes mistakes happen. We want quality, but not quantity of information. And this is what I got. I wrote it all down. Look, this is my my schedule, my itinerary for today. Bitcoin, Ethereum up about 1%. Atom, Injective, Osmo all down, but Kuji is up 18%. Is that right? In 7 days, I'm talking 7-day time frame, and then Akash up 99%, 7 days. Unbelievable.
Not, you said 99.
Yeah. It's not right.
It's not correct. It's not correct. 99%.
Not financial advice. So
just no, there it is. Sorry, like
7 days.
Yeah,
7 days. Striker already knows what we're going to talk about, and we want to talk about building. Don's been building, and I think you're due for a sabbatical. So we want to find out what you've been building, what it means to be building. I have Max is not here, but Max has sent me his takes. He's DM'd me his takes. We'll go with Max's takes in a bit. Building. What is building for you? Web3 building, crypto building.
We are getting serious.
We have limited time today.
We have limited time, and let's establish what is building.
Yeah.
Joe, thank you for having me on the show once again. My apologies for being late, as always being disappointing, but let's establish what is building, considering the price performance, considering the Kujira being quite stable, considering the Akash going up. So Akash, detracted a lot after the bull market. At bull market, it was $7, I believe, $8 or something like that.
It was the first Cosmos asset that I bought.
They launched very early. Actually, they were one of the first Cosmos blockchains. Sentinel and the other bullshit was there, but like with this new wave, new wave 2020, the Akash was like one of the first. Right. It was also one of the first pulled then on Osmosis. It launched before that. So I did knew a little bit about Akash, but as it proceed later, I thought like, oh, it was big nothing, right? But it seems that this Greg Osuri, which I heard is a very difficult character to deal with.
I had a meeting with him. Yeah.
You had?
I had a meeting with him about 4 months ago, and I was going to make a video on Akash. And after the meeting, I just lost interest in and I didn't even bother to research it, and I didn't even bother to email him back. So I will at some point. But yeah, I did meet with him. He seemed very nice.
Yeah, but like maybe he's nice, but he seemed like he stayed committed to actually building because he has vision for maybe actual product, and they actually generate revenues of, I don't know if it's monthly revenues or yearly, $50,000, which is nothing. Let's establish that.
But it's at least it's a pathway to profitability,
But
right? You
it's
need some revenue.
working. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
500% in a year or something like that, right? You add another 500%, that's 250K, and that's very very fast compounding. So it
Wait, that's enough.
seems,
That's almost enough to pay for one dev in Cosmos.
yes, we will address that
Oh,
because
I have it.
it's good
Oh, yes.
place to make money.
Actually, I have that link in the description of Don going back and forth about dev salaries, but we'll get to
Yeah,
that. We'll get to that.
IBC Mafia says about team unlocks, and it was shattered. And I was like, Akash probably ran out of money, because I remember the fundraise of Akash was very small, so they were funding a lot with the tokens as well. But it survived, and actually they have the product, so they have competing pricing for the compute, because you cannot just sell it. It's decentralized but more expensive, right? I think the pricing is actually better for you don't have to understand much. You don't have to think it's decentralized, because for most people, they will care, I will pay less for that than renting a server. It's still not even good for running validator infrastructure on that, but for like maybe website backend and stuff, it's cheaper pricing, so people might be interested, right? And the Akash has its own vision and its own founder. It wasn't really, it was never I don't feel it was, and I don't want to put the words, sold as the Cosmos vision. As I said, I don't know much about Akash, but they actually stayed building.
I mean, let's be honest. It's boring because it's a real product. It's boring.
It's very boring, because
real products. I think that's why
boring.
it didn't click with me. But here's, I will shout out Tank. I don't know if he's still watching. Almost a year ago, Tank was watching the team unlocks and the inflation very closely, and he said around Q1, all those unlocks and vesting will be done. So he started charting and watching Akash, and he was buying dips on a low liquidity DEX. I don't know what DEX he had access to. And he was just buying, selling, because there were some very exaggerated candle moves. And me, I'm always late to every party. I'm like, I'd rather make content about Akash. So I didn't. And here's the thing. I had like this mental block about unlocking my staked tokens. And I was like, I don't want to unlock tokens. Then 21 days, I have to remember what I want to do with them. But 2 weeks ago, I unlocked everything. So I'm going to be moving tokens around, creating taxable events that are going to get me in huge trouble. I unlocked all my stars, all my Juno, all my Osmo, and about half my Atom.
Same.
It's
I'm
all
staying
go.
liquid. If I want, I use
Fire
liquid
sale.
stake asset for if in a month I'm not happy, I'm dumping it.
Here's the thing. The APRs are low now, so it pays to have a lot of liquid assets, because what are you really losing? 1 or 2% a month? That's nothing if you could catch a 5% green candle and sell some into that. So I'm going to unlock everything. By the way, I think staking is complete bullshit.
But in regards Akash, I'm sure like Tanks remember that, like, because early on Akash had very high APR, like around 50% as well. But the staking ratio of Akash was at a 90% early on. It was like unbelievable, which was showing you it might have actually like very cult-like community, which probably stayed around there.
I can't tell you. I don't know.
This is actual product, and the thing about Akash, which is like important, there is no gimmick. You are saying the centralized compute, and people are like, compute, it's there, like it's not a gimmick. And I want to say, if it's not a gimmick, it's good. Okay.
And like I said, that makes it boring. It could fly under the radar. What's good about Akash is they're going to be a bunch of people that buy the top, and then it's going to pull back a little bit. And then it's going to probably trade sideways until the rest of the market does something. So people buy this at the top. And then the good thing about Akash and the good thing about Cosmos is you could always say we're early. We're early. So the people that bought the top, even though Akash has been through 2 cycles, basically, those bag holders will be saying we're early for like a year when the price trades sideways as they're underwater in their position. And I think that's bullish. It's always bullish to be underwater and unable to unload your bags because it decreases the effective
But
circulating supply. So
obviously there is hype, and because Akash generates revenues, but also when you place those revenues to the market cap of $250 million,
I was okay.
you are like, this valuation is absolutely ridiculous.
Well, here's the other thing that
I'm not saying it's not, because it might shoot up. Like, it can start generating 20 million. So
yeah. But here's the thing:
if you would
the valuation of the token does not equal the valuation of the protocol or the company behind it, and it's not a stock. And I don't think of these things as stocks, and that's why if I look at a real product, Jackal has a real product also, and I'm like, people are going to buy this thinking it's a stock, but it's not. So it's automatically going to be overvalued unless it's like Ethereum, where the token is actually accruing value based on what's happening on the actual network. And to me, Ethereum is not about all the applications. It's about competing for block space on the network. And that token does a nice job of basically sucking the value from all the applications into that token. It might not be a 1-for-1 or 100%, but we'll see. If Akash, obviously 250, no crypto product should be valued at $250 million in this market unless they're changing the guidelines.
So that's what I'm saying. It's great product. It's real product, and it's really very interesting product. But if I would have to stay rational, like it's quite like, if there would be the stock company, right, that would say we generate 5 times the revenue of Akash, that company would be probably trading at $10-20 million maybe. It would be.
And not only that, those companies would not be paying their employees in stocks, which were then sold on the open market. So there's that as well. Let's shift gears. Speaking
but also want to finish. We had projects like that. Sia Coin, remember?
I held Sia Coin for almost 5 years.
It failed, and it was quite closely working with actual Akash. So we don't know the future. I don't want to be bearish. We just don't know the future. It's good product.
I think it makes more sense to have a product like this on proof of stake. And that's why I'm turning my attention to Jackal. Also, I'm a sucker for low market cap plays, low float, low market cap, low volume, and hoping to get very lucky. But yeah, Jackal it's more of a storage product, right? Like a decentralized storage product. They run their nodes. The stakers are supposed to make money based on how profitable selling the storage is. With Akash, it's computing power. Decentralized computing.
I don't actually know much about Jackal.
You could get them on your channel. They're very, very good with communication, and they're happy to do content. I had them on a space about 2 months ago. They were great, and I was like, damn, I got to buy some Jackal tokens, and I started DCAing in. It's not financial advice. I lose on all my trades, so maybe you should short it. But I'm going to actually use Calc Finance so that I don't screw up my DCA.
And you also mentioned Kujira, which is quite interesting, because Kujira, some of that is in the Kuji tokens, but Kujira stays very quiet in social media. Actually, when you think the community is very loud, but Kujira, like Dove, they're like not really up into your face.
Right, they ghost me.
I'm sensing that they really building hard. I'm sensing there is really hard building ongoing.
I doubt it. Because you're not really. Are you really building if you don't tell everyone you're building? And I think that's where Max would come in and say, maybe it's time for a sabbatical. If you guys don't have time to tweet about how much work you're doing, you're not really working.
I will replace the Max today, if you don't mind. So sure. Kujira TVL is 19 million. It's still very small when you compare to some.
It's not bad
projects. But what Kujira was doing, they built the set of different applications. You can see the liquidation mechanism and all of that. And this all different applications together, they have the purpose that in the future, if they deploy, for example, perpetuals trading, it will be effective liquidation mechanism that works. So they build in this set of products So on the top, they can give really good trading experience, and I think this is the end game. So Kujira, right? It's 19 million TVL. A lot of that is in Kujira, I understand, but this, it's just like 35% of the other popular blockchain, which is Torchain, for example, right? It doesn't look bad considering that TVL is growing very fast.
Does that include
that
USK in the TVL? I think that should include USK, or at
It
least
includes the stable coins, which is close to $2 million.
I think it should include stable coins.
It does include, which is close to $2 million. It's not much. It's growing. Okay. So I think this is some real building might be ongoing within the Kujira ecosystem. And once we hit 50 million, once Kujira hit 50, you need to understand I received a gift from the Dove. Like, I'm very grateful to Dove. So
he's ghosting me.
Well, he already paying Tank as well. So
yeah, he probably thinks I'm gonna listen. I don't do enough content to ask for money, but I did get tipped once. I did 225 videos, and I got tipped once, and I got tipped in Juno tokens that I staked.
So that's miserable.
But it was a nice tip. If I sold it at the time, I would have probably it was I won't say who it was, but I got tipped in Juno tokens, and one and then I. By the way, speaking of tips, my tips are on. If you're in the chat, if you tip me, I'll put your comment across the bottom of the screen. I think that's fair.
It's
some of you already owe me a couple bucks.
There was there is two applications. There is one was Sputnik and some other one that was actually developed by SG1 to tip people. And I got two hefty tips, let's say, and one was from Stargaze early on, and the other one was from Kujira, right? Which always tells you, like, yeah, that's like the proper Western culture, And once I got tip, I don't know if it was Torch or someone. I think that it was them behind that tipping, because I was doing so much content on Juno, and I think it was during Dimi interview I received 1 Atom tip.
You interviewed Dimi?
Sorry?
You interviewed Dimi?
Like long ago when Juno was still working.
Okay, because I generally think that all of his takes are bad, but he had a really good tweet.
Oh, horrible! But everyone was loving Juno regardless.
Yeah,
he could say nonsense, and they were like, "Yeah, we building." So then I received the tip, 1 Atom, and you know right away the person who tipped you is German. They will be like, I don't want to say Germans, and I don't want to shit on Germans. It's lovely nations, but if you're in a restaurant and the service will serve Germans so much that Germans will have like change, and at the end will do this to you and will be very happy of tipping you. That's Germans. Not sure if the Julius is still here, but I think he told me that that's what Germans do.
Julius is making professional looking content. I noticed. I didn't watch any of it because he had Jake Hartnell. The first one I saw was Jake Hartnell. I'm like, I can't listen to this. Sorry, Jake, but you're talking circles.
Yeah, sorry, Jake. But,
all right, can we go to the next thing? We got to go to the next thing because we're limited time. So, building. Are we talking about a?
Someone says that Regen is building. Should we talk about Regen because we talked about gimmicks?
There's no way Regen could have any money.
So I tell you, Daniel. Do you see this expert? That there is also Joe, less of an expert.
Yeah,
but also good. I actually think Joe way more experience. So somehow, like, people like this stupid accent that I have. But I tell you thing or two, Daniel, about Regen. When you hear no gimmick, you buy.
Right. And you wait.
When you hear the gimmick, aka new thing,
short.
DeFi, forget DeFi, brother. Ko-Fi, collaborative finance. When you hear that shit, Daniel, you don't look, you turn back and you run away. When you hear Regen, blockchain, on-chain carbon credits to save, like whatever this gimmick is, you run away. Do you understand, Daniel? What's the Regen?
What exactly is Ko-Fi? What exactly is Ko-Fi?
Collaborative finance.
And
I don't know
that's
what.
like a debt. It's like a debt economy on the blockchain.
I don't know. You collaborate in this finance.
All right, great.
It's very,
Yeah.
very Cosmos collaborate.
Any blockchain that goes to another blockchain's community pool, I don't think they have money left, and that's
Region literally has market cap the size of the grants they receive yearly. I think. I don't know. Like they receive 3 million from ICF. They surely have something.
I
more.
want to get to the ICF, but can we get to like the meat of this while there's a lot of people in the chat? We have the most people we've ever had in the chat. So we're doing a good job, right? What we talked about building. I want to just quick plug NFT Nashville, which is the conference that Tank and a few of us are putting on. I put the link down below. We got a bunch of sponsors. We were denied a grant by Accelerator DAO. And I think it was correct that they denied us the grant. I'm not bitter about that. I didn't see the way the grant application was written, but they have a mandate to focus on the hub. Great. We probably shouldn't have got that grant. We probably should have applied for the grant after we got some sponsors, but sponsors have stepped up big time, right? We capped the sponsorships at $2,500 US. Stargaze was first. That allowed us to cement the venue and get the ball rolling. Omniflix, a couple of projects on Archway gave us the max sponsorship. Gelato gave us a max sponsorship, and I'm missing. Game and Nodes max
2,500. What's the minimum?
500. So, but here's the thing.
I would sponsor if that would be little less, man.
Well, people can just donate whatever they want. We don't have a wallet set up for that, but we're going to do open edition mints. If you want to donate $1, you could donate $1.
Yeah, I keep forgetting.
That's okay. Oh, Sisla's
that's what
here.
I'm saying. I keep fucking up.
That's okay.
I'm sorry.
It wasn't a good time. People were building, so they don't pay attention to things like that. Ray, I don't want to misspeak, but it was more than one project. I think 3 different projects. I don't want to name the wrong ones, but Archway is coming in hot with marketing, and they have a proposal about a marketing and growth DAO, which is interesting. So they believe in actually spending money on marketing. Marketing is not one thing, right? So hopefully they'll do more than just sponsor a conference. But yeah, the link is down below. Go to the website. If you're interested in sponsoring, you click the sponsor button. You don't have to sponsor, but just be aware of what projects are sponsoring. And if you're an NFT collector in Cosmos, you might want to support the validators who are sponsoring us, the platforms that are sponsoring, and the projects. Individual projects are sponsoring. So
everyone like this video. I heard 20.
Subscribe, tip the content creators. But let's. What did I want to go to next? Is it Prop 818 or is it the ICF?
Am I sharing the screen? I just want to mention this regarding the sponsorship, but maybe it will be fail. So Gorzo asked the Lilliput Wonders artist to make the Dawn holding
Gorzo's here.
Earth. Is it visible?
Yeah, it looks good.
So he said I can do open edition mint of those. And we were thinking to proceeds from the open edition will go to the, but I didn't do it. He told me like 2 months ago, I think, and I fucked up because I always forget. So maybe it's still time. Like you can actually, I think it's still time. Like if you want, you can even release it. I have the picture. You can add any threads to it, any metadata that you'd like to. But it's not very much worth because someone offering him 5 stars for this is 1 of 1 done, and people.
I mean, it doesn't.
Very valuable.
It's not we have what we need to get the conference off the ground, but we want it to be recurring. So it's not going to be like a massive NFT NYC or Cosmoverse. We're trying to have money left. We will have money left over to immediately start planning the next event, which I'm hoping we all get on the same page. I want to do it the day after or the day before the big Bitcoin conference happening in Nashville next year in July. So I think we could jump on the back of that, and it doesn't have to be Cosmos centric, but almost all the sponsors are Cosmos projects right now. So look, Tank is
fun because since NFT Nashville is for retail, I think the Stargaze team will come. So if anyone listening from outside of the Cosmos ecosystem, they organize the NFT Nashville for like just the people to hang out, eat
That's it.
some nice, delicious barbecue or whatever they do there. So,
All right,
Daniel asking, glad you asking, because of course I'm building, but
I'm on sabbatical.
I don't know if you know what I'm building, Joe.
I don't know.
It's another thing that I'm building.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you going to tell us, or just it's going to be just you're going to wait a couple
I'm not
months?
telling that.
Okay.
Secret.
All right.
The real man, I build like Kujira in silence.
Look. Losing viewers talking about NFT Nashville. He's right.
We about some Cosmos proposal.
Okay.
Or something like
you want
to
talk about ICF overpaying developers to build nothing, or do you want to talk about Prop 818? To me is cut and dry. I don't care. I don't care about Neutron. I'm geo-blocked from Neutron. I don't care. I just hope ICS works. Neutron is a good guinea pig. I'm happy that it was subsidized by the hub, because now there needs to be more collaboration and follow-up, but I don't care. Neutron is a special case. People should look at it as a special case or not. Like I think it's black and white, either yes or no. There's no abstain, no with veto, and all that. I linked Don's video about Prop 818 in the description if you're interested in it. It's totally fucking boring unless you care about governance so much. And by the way, how do we get to 818 props? Didn't we raise the deposit so we have less spam? I thought that was going to work. I
remember there was like proposal after proposal, and we went to like the proposal 70 or something like this, and then suddenly we jumped into hundreds. I don't know how it happened.
I think it had to do with that genius proposal by a validator to raise the deposit. These are the people voting with all of your assets, by the way. The validators, I would say a third of them are just way out of touch or have a massive conflict of interest on every proposal. It's wild. But yeah, who cares? I'm geo-blocked. I got no airdrop. If you're from the Neutron team, I would like to do content on Neutron. Have no idea what you're doing. I can't even look at your governance website because I'm geo-blocked.
It's not very convenient. So yeah, like I don't really like checking the governance, but there is some things ongoing. If all the proposals that appear there are going to pass, I'm afraid that seed investors might not be very, very strong backing them. Like,
well, you're a validator. Do the validators just have to be more careful? Is there something they could do to prevent it, or are there just so many nodes across the ecosystem that this is just going to happen from time to time based on probability?
So talking about 818.
Yeah, it had to do with a double sign.
Okay,
which
so I don't do any shit. I don't even like. I sometimes I pop and check what's the proposal, but like the guy does everything, right?
The guy, you don't even know his name. Good job.
Louis from Ted Lotto. He has some other network, so he's very nice.
Louis who?
Josh is his other name. He used Louis. You don't know him. Ted Lotto is his validator. He has Lotto.
I don't know.
You don't know. Like he has Lotto game to his validator. So half of the proceeds that he make from validator go to the Lotto game, and if you stake with him every week, you can win some tokens. It's just like it's like the Crypto Millions, but without getting money from the community pool. If you know
that's never gonna work.
It's literally like pretty like that. It works like that.
All right, so I've one question about 818, and then you could wrap it up, or I don't care.
But yeah, like I wanted to tell you. So they relaunched the network,
before you even start, there's people in the chat like me that don't know anything. What is equivocation? Why do I have to know that?
I was. Did you see that? I was reading that word, and like I read equivocation. I couldn't like spell it because it was new word for me, and I don't know why people use that word. Like,
stupid,
dude. We have international audience like me.
Yes, exactly.
Can we speak English, please?
Well, Max is bullish on anything that's equal. He wants equality and equivocation. He thought equivocation was the Canadian spelling of equality.
It's crazy why they use these words, but like, yeah, they want to sound clever or I'm not sure. But yeah, every time you
Daniel.
relaunch network, you have to be careful, I guess, to not double sign the same block. I'm not sure how it works, but
Well,
on
is it
any
the same?
network, if you do it on any L1, you get slashed. So on L1s, as you know it, you are being careful. And
So
here,
what?
apparently, they were not very careful because they were promised no slash. Probably no one was thinking, and they wanted to do it fast.
Should they get slashed and then Neutron pay them back, or should there be a grace period for the first ever ICS chain to have a little bit of latitude with making a couple of mistakes? This was clearly not a threat to the network, right? I know that doesn't
No,
matter,
like it's
but
and most of the slashes are most of the double signs are actually accidental. So it was even when you remember that guy, the crypto like Mo, he had the validator on like
yes,
it.
I
They,
remember
they
that. That
wanted
was
to
brutal.
make the backups to they were not even very high,
He got
but they
roasted.
wanted to run the Horcrux or whatever it's called to never miss the blocks, and they completely fucked up and they double signed, which like auto slash. It's not they tried to do something bad; they were unexperienced doing that. And all of the slashes are actually happening by accident and not because someone tried to confuse consensus of the network,
Right.
right? Because that's what
That's what I
happens.
meant.
Like, why would people do it? But
How
for
does this
that,
how does this
because
affect the stakers? Like, let's say I'm staking to Putmos, I'm staking to Citizen Cosmos. Those are the
yeah,
two
you will
validators.
lose. You will
So I
lose
lose for is it I just lose 5%, it gets burned out of my stake?
5%. Yeah.
All right, so I guess this would be devastating if you don't. Maybe it's a good time to see if you're delegating too much to one validator. If you were to lose 5%, is that going to be devastating for you? Maybe split it to two validators who are not the same person, right? Like maybe
Yeah. So
Citizen.
by the way, it seems that it could be the same person, right?
Holy shit! I talk to Putmos sometimes. I try to look for Putmos on LinkedIn just to see if there's like he has a LinkedIn profile. But Citizen Cosmos, would you consider him like OG content creator? He's got a
make
podcast.
content?
It's pretty good. I listened to it a couple times. I'm also asking him to sponsor NFT Nashville. So we got to.
Citizen Cosmos, 600 subscribers. They surely deserve some of the solid funding.
What do you mean solid funding?
I want to say this is the like post-human Citizen Cosmos, whoever other like the Russian speaking community.
It's a
They always
lot.
stand by each other.
Yeah, yeah.
So Cosmic Validator, I think, has some relations. I don't think the girl is Russian, but I think the Cosmic Validator might be.
And post, yeah, and also the I think the Twitter handle Cosmos Ecosystem is run by a Russian validator. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure.
So when that proposal of Cosmic Validator funding happened, all of them supported it. So
oh my god. Oh my god. IBC Mafia. I like when the chat is value add, like Whoopin' Soccer, Soy, IBC Mafia, Striker. You guys are usually really good and have good takes in the chat.
So I spoke to Pupmos. He like when that funding was happening, when that proposal was like, oh yeah, I think you should get funded as well, and like but of course I had the fallout. But yeah, they work collectively to spread the agenda, and good for them. You speak the one language. It's actually different. Like I'm not even sure if they are Russian or Belarusians because they both speak Russian, but they stand by each other, and it's cool. You are close guys with each other. But yeah, like this, like you on all of the layer 1 network, if that happens in Cosmos, you will get slashed. Okay.
So,
and Neutron is also layer 1. It's just secured by the Cosmos, and this double sign happened because people probably didn't feel they get double slash because probably they were told so. So they got so the double sign because they were told so, but they double signed, and as they double signed, the Zaki Manyan probably sat and was like.
So I'm looking at observatory.zone, and you could observatory.zone. You could actually look at some different visualizations for how decentralized the networks are. It's only showing 2 validators in Russia because you could see the geographic distribution of validators. But you're saying they're Russian speaking, not necessarily living in Russia, I guess.
Well,
Or
you need to understand, and I'm sorry for all the Russians. Russia is a shithole, right?
all right.
I understand that some people, Americans love Russia for some reasons. I have a lot of conspiracy. I'm myself conspiracy theorist. Maybe
So am
sometimes
I.
I do believe that some water turns the frogs gay. So
So people my
but
age, people that are my age in the chat, so that's Tank. I'm guessing Ray is pretty close to my age. Whoopin' Soccer, probably my age. Russia, if you grew up in the 80s and you watched a lot of movies, Russia was always the bad guy in every movie, whether it's like
now
uh,
Russia, everyone loves Russia because US
they changed their
support.
flag. They changed their flag. It looks kind of like France's flag. So like, oh, we're allies with France. My steroids that much anymore. But now and then in the 90s, all the bad guys were terrorists. And now all the bad guys are straight white men, I guess, in all the movies.
Yeah, so if Moscow, I guess it's okay, but like I saw the tweet that Russia wants to offer to Americans coming to the village for conservatives. Who would want to come to the Russian village? Like sometimes, if you want to have some fun outside of the Moscow, open Google Map and go to Russian town and walk the streets of the Google Map.
Oh,
okay,
God.
unless the Google edits that, it's not great.
But I mean, Russia's been sanctioned by the West longer than like Iraq has been sanctioned. And I think that's probably 99% of it. Russia has a lot of natural resources, right? Yes, they have super corrupt government where they basically have a king that calls himself a president, but that's a lot of countries. They have a king and they say, oh, this is the Democratic People's Republic of whatever. But there's no excuse to have that much like just devastation in a country like Russia that's should be technologically advanced, lots of resources. But I think the sanctions definitely put them in a tough spot because
surely sanctions work, right? Like
they work for the middle. They wipe out the middle class pretty fast in
yeah.
those
So, but
countries.
it was actually the middle class issue was since the start because oligarchs took over, like as not many countries were able to avoid that. But
America's like that too, but they have different names for stuff. So instead of oligarchs, they call them the industry leaders, right? So it's like we have the pharma oligarch, we have the oil oligarchs.
what the fuck is that?
Are you really doing this now? Oh my God. Are we gonna get flagged for this? This actually looks like down south in the United States a little bit. Oh Jesus.
They don't have proper roof. They have asbestos.
Look at their storm. They have no storm drainage.
I don't know where am I. Let's walk around.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Now, maybe
for people that are for people just tuning in, Don has made a hypothesis that that Russia is a shithole, so he's using Google Map to.
Maybe it's too small of a town. Sorry. What is that?
It looks like they haven't gotten SUVs yet. They went straight from like 4-door sedans to military vehicles.
Dude, that was 800,000 people city.
That's a big town. Yeah. Okay. That's like bigger than Boston. I think. I don't think Boston has 800,000 people. So, all right. Last thing.
Sorry, I shouldn't. I'm sorry, Russians.
Okay,
but that doesn't look like a superpower to me.
The first couple of times I've ever heard.
I started doing that because there is this YouTuber in Poland. He is Russian. He's the political refugee, and he makes the videos like against Putin. And he started doing that and showing people how Russia looks like. And he was walking in Russian towns showing people. And that's how I was like, yeah, this doesn't really look great.
Let's wrap up with developer salaries. In college, I was a computer science major. And then I changed my major. And when I see Don going back and forth with someone from ICS who doesn't really know how their organization makes money, it makes me go back to that day when I changed my major from computer science to just science. And it just, my life went downhill that day. It was like that candle down when the meme coin loses steam. Like, it just 80% drop in one day. What was the back and forth? And I put that Twitter conversation in the description. You could look at it. Don thinks devs are overpaid. But does it really matter if they're overpaid, or does it matter more what they get paid with and where that money comes from? Because that's an important issue in Cosmos. Getting paid with tokens that are just based on inflation, probably. What do you think?
So yeah, sorry for ruining the mood before. Should I turn off, or it doesn't bother much? Does it bother?
You want to turn off your camera? I don't care.
I can do the other camera. Okay, let it stay, because I hear my brother-in-law is already eating. So like 10 more minutes.
Sure. 5 more minutes.
So there was discussion with Susanna from ICF or something like that.
I don't know her, and I don't really know much about the ICF. So
yeah, I think she's PhD. Not sure that it matters.
It matters. It definitely matters, because I work in education, and all the people with PhDs don't actually do anything. So hopefully it's different.
It's very funny to read the tweets, because you know what's really interesting for me, and someone spoke about the Lung Dao, about Coach Bruce. People in today's world, they hear but they don't listen. And I was thinking in relation to her, like, she gets asked questions and she go to Glassdoor to search the average salaries at Google. As the argument.
I had a really hard time not replying to that. I had good,
and it's like,
I had my
Susanna, you cannot use the Twitter. Please don't use that.
I saw that.
You are doing yourself a big harm.
I'm surprised no one's commented that you were being sexist. Actually, I was waiting for that to be one of the replies, but I would not compare. I mean, a Web3 company, a company. I don't even know if you want to call it a company, right? ICF or whoever, Ethereum Foundation. To me, they're more like biotech companies. They get a whole bunch of funding in the beginning, and they just have to hope that they make something profitable before all that runway runs out. A company like Google, they generate a shit ton of revenue. And then if that revenue goes down, the hiring slows down, and they give raises less often, or they just make people work more for the salaries that they're getting. Otherwise, they might have to actually lay people off. It definitely doesn't work like that in Web3.
Look, I'm not saying that people should get paid less, because I know software developers get a lot, but you should build up the argument. So let's break down some of the facts, right? Ethereum Foundation has 1.6 billion. 300 of that is in the cash equivalents. Majority is in Ethereum asset, and Ethereum is at 200 billion market cap. They spend around 50 billion a year on mainnet, on the scaling solution, which layer 2s, and on the new scaling solution. Around 30 millions go to this, and 20 million goes, I think, for the grants for probably development of DeFi for other team doing that. Cosmos, the Interchain Foundation, has $300 million. So it's
and is that an atom?
Roughly 5 times less, 5.5 times less. Spends the same money. Okay.
Yeah.
And I question, because so I know a lot of that is on maintenance. I don't know how much is on the maintenance. So majority of that, not majority, 12 million, I think, around that, goes to the informal system that works on collaborative finance. Okay. 3 goes to region, and there's many different institutions, but and I'm questioning, is that not extensive funding? Maybe too many teams.
Well, that wasn't the original tweet. The original tweet was different. The original tweet was, you said something about the Cosmos as an ecosystem doesn't rely on the ICF.
Yeah.
So
that was the point. But
and then you compared the spending with Ethereum, which is 80 times bigger and more liquid in terms of the token. So that 300 million doesn't sound like a lot for an ecosystem that's scaling, horizontal scaling like Cosmos. Is all that in Atom, or is some of that in Cash? Because that 300 million, if most of that's in Atom,
100 million is in cash, which is like 2 years
Okay.
of runway. And so after 2 years, they have to continue liquidating more, right? If the market doesn't go up, that means they will run out with like 6 years unless their investments turn very well. I know they invested in Celestia, so they might have some additional money. But the point was that the Cosmos SDK and the Tendermint will be fine because there is the teams that don't rely on ICF funding, and not to mention like Kujira, Stargaze. Those are very small teams. But you need to know that there is large teams like DYDX, and they will be using SDK software, and they also use money to contribute to SDK software. If something would happen and ICF cease to exist, I believe the SDK will continue being open software where people collaborate. So I don't think without ICF the ecosystem collapses. I don't think if Atom collapses, the ecosystem collapses, because you will have new options, new like Celestia, and so actually this framework will. So I believe that the funding in ICF like is less relevant, and it's actually majority of that is it might be used for, not majority, big portion of that might be used on what I call gimmicks here. But I don't think if ICF should invest into gimmicks. I don't think that ICF should be like, yeah, Ko-Fi, oh yeah, let's fucking go.
Yeah, but like, you're using the word investing. Is it an actual investment, or are they just giving out grants willy-nilly?
No, they invested in Celestia, but they actually did a couple investments. They invested in Celestia and Penumbra pre-seed.
Okay,
but they
by
give away
investing,
grants.
you're saying they gave them cash and they got equity, not tokens.
Yeah, but pre-seed on the couple projects they invested.
So you said it's
but
Celestia?
that spending is the grants, not investments. But for example, the first round of Celestia, that was 1 million or something like that. Part of that ICF was investor.
Okay, because
maybe
it would make sense to me. It would make sense to me
on investing.
It would make sense to me if the ICF was actually investing in, let's say they invest in a chain. It's not going to launch for a year, but they give them, I don't know, $5 million. But they own a percentage of upside to that.
Yeah,
and then a year later, they give them a grant that is not an investment, just to kind of give them some competitive edge, allow them to develop faster or whatnot. That makes a lot of sense to me. But what does the ICF actually get for these investments, or do we have to wait and see?
No, those grants that you saw are not investments. So 50 million is grants, but they would invest like 300K in some projects, like minor.
Yeah, that is minor.
It's not the main venture.
What do they invest in the Atom in the hub? Because that's what you were talking about. Was it 60 million?
They give in grants, and if you look at the grant recipients, like a lot of that is on the SDK framework, but also about that spend. So like, once again, my tweet wasn't about that. It was like that it will be fine, because I'm confident it will be fine, that there will be projects that will use that framework, and if they want to be good framework, they will have to contribute to Cosmos SDK, for example, to have good version, to patch the bugs. That's normal. Okay. Stargaze was contributing before to, like, people, like, of course now it's less as they have like their own product, so they use and maybe they don't have time to contribute, but the necessity will make people contribute. And there is a lot of very large chains that use Cosmos SDK that they will have to contribute to that.
Well, like DYDX is going to have some heavy skin in the game.
Make sure to patch the bugs if there will be, right? So they have money to do it. So I don't know why Susanna was responding at that, but as she responded, I decided to proceed if she makes it about funding, you know.
And to be clear, the ICF has a whole bunch of Atom. They stake it and they spend the rewards on these grants, or they spend in cash.
They liquidate some atoms, and they also give the premium in atoms. So they pay them probably stablecoin or cash, and also they give atom premium to them.
And ICF is based in Canada?
Bonuses in Switzerland, which is the great place for the foundations.
So that's almost like in the United States, all the gambling sites are based in the Bahamas. So
yeah, like,
Switzerland's like the higher class option to the
but we
Bahamas.
don't know how much money evaporated the years before. But like, what I'm so, and then someone like questioning that funding, right? And she's coming out and she's saying we need to pay well because people will go to Google. And
Okay.
there was the median of Google salary was less than person cost at ICF
And
grants.
something else you have to
And
factor
I
in.
understand we changed the word.
Yeah.
It's fucking Google. It's Google.
Not only that, Google has employees that have likely been working there for 15 or 20 years. That's factored into the median. 15,
Yeah.
20 years of raises is factored in. With ICF, 3 years of raises gives them a higher median. So I don't know. I get that you don't want people to leave, but I have no opinion on the ICF. I'm still trying to understand how it works. I have really no opinion on all the grants and the funding and investments. I think that term is thrown around too loosely, but in general, I don't think anyone who's a developer in Web3 would ever want to go to an actual Web2 tech company where they have to show up to work, they have to be on their phone when they're not working, they have to do meetings on the weekends, and they have to answer to a series of bosses, and they have to produce tangible work. I don't think most people will go even for higher salary. That would be my knee-jerk reaction guess, just based on like the nonsense that we see where there's like a 3-day conference and then they take 4 weeks off to recover from the conference. Like that would never happen in the world. Like that's not happening. And the amount of work days that, 250 work days, that's on the low side for a Web2 company, I would imagine, right? Google employees are probably working closer to 300 days a year, if I had to guess. I have a friend that works for Google. I'll have to ask him. But Google's not a joke, man. They keep you there for long hours. And yes, they give you lots of perks. They feed you. They give you a gym membership. But the point is they want to keep you at work longer. And
they are the top world company, right?
and
Okay.
yeah, my friend works on the legal side of Google. He's not a programmer, but he works with the programmers because he's part of HR. And he said that like they work a lot and they go to work, they get a mandatory break. They have to take breaks, and it's because they're there for a long time. And I guess Google's position is we don't want these people calling out sick. We don't want them taking these mental health leaves of absence that happen in other industries as often, even though I'm sure they support it, parental leave, all that stuff. Web3 devs, they're just wired differently, man.
I mean, I can tell you the average grant recipient of ICF is and I don't want to spread any white guilt here, but it's literally a white person that feels bad about feeling white. Do the regular trips to Sonora Desert to get some of this 5-MeO. No, 5-M. What's the fucking the toads? League the toads. They go
Yep.
to Sonora Desert. They like sometimes visit Colorado mountains, stuff like this.
There he goes. You lost your
And
camera.
around this team is always like one brown person, which do the create.
Oh, there we go.
Where am I?
Gotcha.
One brown person that do the creative side. This is that's how you portrait those companies. Like
wait. You're talking about a real project. You're talking. Can I
I'm
say
describing Tiamat region.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Aquadao.
No, like I'm this like I don't want to shit that region. I heard they're great devs, okay, but
I've heard nothing but good.
And I would like to say to those people, region like Strangelove pay very well as well. The people like they and I actually spoke with Osmosis. Osmosis devs earn well below those wages that these people have at region, and they work on like Korean wages. But those people at region, they really like go to leak some code, have visions about the changing world, fixing the world to more. There's they like camping, they live on the modest wages of 20 to 30K a month. barely survivable because they also have to eat something, and they always hire this one brown person to do the art for them or something like that. And it's like, I just don't feel that shit.
Yeah.
Sorry, but that's you are the worst representation of the white person that is out there. Like, you are embarrassing anyone, not white, you embarrassing any thinking human being. Sorry, Joe. I could go on. I just don't like it. I don't,
I think that
because
what's most
I
alarming is
even say more. I will say more.
what about the way
Those
they
people
dress?
are racist.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
for
will
sure.
say that those people are
Yeah.
racist because that's what they do.
Let's
That
end.
they
Let's end on
use
a
the
blanket.
race
Let's end on a
always.
blanket statement here. They're all of them are racist, right?
All of them are racist. Yeah,
I agree.
they
Okay.
they, yeah.
They
That's
dress
that.
they dress poor. They dress poor. So you feel like they're actually doing something when they're wearing clothes from a thrift store. But like you said, it's a modest 30K salary. How much
A
good can you
month.
actually
Yeah.
do? How much good can you do on 30K a month? You
Yeah.
need those grants. You really need the grants.
Well,
And
you
you
need to count. So, what's the cost of living? So 30K, 15K rent, right? What is the minimum that you need? 3 bedrooms, little pool in the background,
yeah. Uh,
nice view at the city of struggling people of color.
oh
You
yeah.
need a nice view from the window at the slums of San Francisco.
Listen, I
So you get motivation to fix the world.
listen, we
To
get
look.
so many teachers. Like I work in New York City. We're the biggest school district on the planet. And they have these programs where they'll pay you, even if you have no experience and you're not a teacher, to come from different parts of the country to serve the inner city. So we get all these teachers mainly from the West Coast. They come on this grant. They have to work in the summer, the first year, and they do like a speed run of the teacher training. And then in the fall, they get thrown into the classroom. And obviously it's nice that they're doing that and they're making a teacher salary and they get their education for free, which is fair. They all quit after once they do their minimum amount of service to pay back that grant. It's like 3 years. They all quit. 4 years, 5 years, they are gone. They're like, well, I serve the inner cities. Let me go back to California and my rich dad will give me a job, or my rich mom will give me a job in her office with the air conditioning and you know, I get my desk and I get to boss people around. It's we get those people all the time. And some schools, they're so hard to hire people at those schools. The majority of the staff is made up of those people. So you end up with the least experienced, but the most woke and the loudest employees, and then they all quit one by one. It's very it's common here. It's common. So I
Yeah,
I get
I'm thinking of like how I picture, like, also, Susanna said 8 hours daily, but I wonder, is the 1 hour blunt rolling included in that 8 hours? Because they got prescription for the stress.
well, they have prescription for stress, but then there's always those people who think that they work faster and they drive better when they smoke pot. Those are the best people.
Yeah,
I'm
so
telling you.
it's
Like,
important.
no, man, I need to
It's
smoke.
important.
I need to smoke because it helps me.
I can focus better.
I drive better when I'm high. Those are the best people. Meanwhile, Colorado was the first state to legalize pot. They have the most traffic deaths of any state in the country. Um, I'm sure it has
Shut
nothing to do
the
with
fuck up.
the
It's
unchecked.
good. It heals the cancer.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Yeah, yeah. That's
Heals the
my favorite.
cancer.
It cures cancer. It cures cancer.
It's probably good for HIV too.
That we legalized marijuana in New York
I
State,
think that,
and
yeah,
it's so bad. My students come to school so high, they just sleep and eat the whole time, and the teachers are coming in high. Like if they have a beard, you could like smell that they smoke pot. And the county where I live is a suburb of New York City. It's probably one of the wealthiest counties in the United States because it's where all the Wall Street workers and lawyers live to commute into New York City because they don't want to live in New York City, right? So they live just outside the city, they commute. And every single town in my county, the county is like 2 million people. Um, they voted no to have retail shops allowed for marijuana. But New York City, it's rampant. It's just rampant. And it's like as soon as you cross that border, it just stinks. It just smells. It smells like burning dreams and unemployment is what it smells like. But they drive better. They drive better.
Sorry, I feel I ruined that life with some of the negativity before.
Let's end on a high note. Let's end on.
But also, like, I was just checking because what she shares, the average group, like, these people always will tell you what's the standard salary in Palo Alto, California. Okay. And I was thinking informal systems was maybe, of course, these people don't work from the office. They're usually remote, right?
Right. So I want to know what is
a lot
average...
a lot of these people work in Berlin.
In Bali.
Berlin, the dev salary is like probably like 70K a year, like or something like that. Maybe it's they devs, they don't make as much, but they still earn the 5 times because, hey, that's what they pay in California and we are good. If not, I live at Google, right? So informal is based in Toronto from what I see.
Yeah.
Wonder where the employees, if the salaries are like, don't want to discriminate anyone, but like really California is not the only one place where you have devs, and I heard there are excellent devs. But don't think of yourself greatly because in 5 years you losing job. Like, you will. That's the reality that will face you. And in 20 years you will earn less than construction worker. That's also the reality.
All right. That's a good way to end on a positive note. We didn't get to notional DAO antics, but I think it's just, by the time we have another one of these, there'll be a whole nother incident we could talk about, I'm sure. I think that we will see lots of bickering as the community pools become unspendable and many teams just descend on the Cosmos hub. I think that's what we'll see. And we'll see people who are normally very tight and vote in lockstep and agree on everything. I think they're going to start fighting over grants and community pool money. I think that's what we'll see. Unless the bear market turns around, then it's great. Everything's great. We'll diversify the community pool at the top of the bull market. What are you sharing here?
What is at risk youth? Is this children of the like people who escape from the war in different regions of the world?
No, these are people.
Russian children, Ukrainian children, African children. Is it this at risk youth, or what's at risk youth?
We just got burned here.
I wanted to be positive, but
we lost a viewer to Cito. But Cito, I mean, he does talk about tokens, but it's only in one direction. So we like to give the both sides of the coin, the yin, the yang. I don't know. You could go to Cito, but it's not clear. It's not clear what else he's got for you. I mean, he's not doing.
I would say something, but I don't want to bring more negativity.
Just say it. Cito's over. I think Cito's overly positive in Cosmos. That's my opinion, but a very positive guy, and that's why I started watching his channel. To be honest,
I just like, okay, I will say this: when I die of heart attack because I got vaccinated, okay,
you did.
When I die, I just want you guys to not say, "You see, Cosmos Drama is not worth. Let's leave." I just want you to say, "Yeah, he was a piece of shit." That's all I want you to say, and don't say anything else.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
Just nonsense.
You think so?
I don't know. I saw the tweet of his. Like, I really, it's sensitive. It's huge tragedy to the family and whoever, you know, the one person from Omniflix died, and it's really tragic. It's like, I just want to say condolences to your family because you suffer a lot, and I hope you can go through it. But there are people that will say, leave the tweet on the leave the post on Twitter that will say, that reminds you that Cosmos Drama is not worth. Like, why you fucking had to bring the Cosmos Drama to this? Like,
I think
why on earth?
Okay, I saw that. I thought that was
Do you
funny.
brain of a squirrel?
I
Like,
thought that
what's
was
wrong with
funny.
you?
No, I thought it was funny for one reason. He just the first time I ever seen him actually unload on somebody in a negative way was Soy. I felt like that was like his way of apologizing to Soy for calling him a bunch of names and insulting him on Twitter.
He wanted to do something good. Then I will say something good.
I mean, look, yeah, I talked to that guy. He passed away, Chev. He tried to help me when I had like there was no hope for him to help me, but he tried a bunch of times. I was just very disorganized, and you know, I was making really shitty content at the time, and he was trying to help me with stuff. And I had a couple meetings with him, and I felt bad for wasting his time. I was actually upset that I didn't get to meet him at NFT NYC, but sucks. It sucks. That's why
Yeah,
you should all come to
I
NFT Nashville because you never know. You never know.
yeah.
And leave the
So
drama aside.
I didn't meet him, but like it's just strategy. Like, and I don't even know what to say because all I think of saying when someone dies, like, just I hope his family holds together, right? And it's horrible
It's
because
horrible. 30 something. He's 7
a
years
lot
younger than me.
and because a lot of fucking young people pass away, and
You think it's I'm not gonna say it, but you think it's from
I don't.
yeah.
I'm not sure. There is like so maybe people are predisposed to some heart conditions, but I
Yeah.
keep seeing there was this fitness influencer, Joe Aesthetics,
Oh yeah.
young guy, 30-year-old, and he died as well a few weeks ago. And you keep reading of those young people dying. Either like it's more popular on the internet, so the information passed so much, and it could be different reasons, right? Because when you get any viral infection, it could also have the strain on your heart, like if you have some predispositions. So I don't know, but I would love to know that. And we can talk about this thing as well. I was big proponent. But the fact is that a lot of companies lied, because even in the rhetoric saying that something prevent the spread, while there is no those things that prevented
All right.
prevented illness.
Let's not
And now when they are questioned,
let's not get
and,
both channels blocked.
and now when they get questioned about those things, did you said it prevented spread?
Yeah.
And
I
they
got
say
fired.
like, oh, the vaccines don't do that. Like
I got
lied.
fired. I got fired from my part-time job because I didn't
What
get
I'm
the booster.
saying, like, how people supposed to trust large companies if they actually used lies, and if something serious happen in the future, now you have now you have billions of people that don't trust you, and I think that's the big problem.
All right.
So
Thanks
yeah.
for that.
Joe, go into it. Sorry for ruining the live stream. No,
That's right. Yeah, we'll end. That was good. No, thanks for staying a little bit longer. Building Prop 818 NFT Nashville, ICF overpaying part-time developers that think they're working full-time, and we got next time we have to give more diet tips and talk about tokens more.
Also, by the way, like I hope it wasn't fixed. I don't know reasons for someone deaf, right? As I said, death is tragic, and I can't speculate on anyone deaths, right? Like it's randomly talked about the subject because there is a lot of other young people dying, which is tragic that young people dying. Not sure if heart conditions go undiagnosed or, but yeah, like I'm trying to be careful, and I think everyone, like Joe, you exercise, right? Try to keep your heart strong and healthy.
Yep.
And do whatever you can to not bring the tragedy upon the close ones. Okay.
Now, if you have kids, you're not allowed to die. It just can't. Here's the thing. I have an insurance policy. I have $1 million insurance policy on myself, and I don't want my wife to get it. So I'm going to try to live as long as possible.
Yeah, like I have policy, and my wife is the only recipient of this.
Same. And I don't want all that money. Like half that money would definitely go to Amazon, and I think the other half would probably go to DoorDash. And I just don't want them to get the money. at all.
Yeah, I actually don't care. I even like anything I buy on my wife's name. I think it's easier. It stressed me out to own anything. So like, I don't own the flat. If I buy the flat, I will buy it on the wife name maybe. Just stressing me out to own anything.
I don't like buying things either. I'm throwing things out every time an Amazon package comes to my house. I throw away something.
I love Amazon. This is amazing company.
Yeah, I mean,
I like, yeah, it's make it so convenient. Like I order books and they arrive within a week. Everything, best supplements, you can get everything on Amazon, and it's more reliable because there is no Chinese or Indian scammer on the other side. Sorry, nations, but I do order stuff sometimes from the shady websites, and Rajesh then respond to me that they can send only after 2 months, but
go.
I'm ruining my life now.
Yeah, you are. All right. Next time I could do this again during the week if you want, or next Sunday. Next Sunday might be tough for me, but maybe Wednesday we could do another quick one, talk about some other things. We'll do the audience seems to like token talk, so we'll talk about tokens more.
Yeah, let's do one where we only talk about tokens. Like,
oh, that's going to be so much. How about top 10 tokens? Top 10 tokens for 2023. $1 billion portfolio challenge. We'll do that.
That one I like. It's always when I like jump on spaces and I talk random shit. I just see people.
I've never seen a video. How about this? I've never seen a video online where it's like top 5 tokens going to zero that you should short. That's what we should do. Top 5 or bottom 5 Cosmos tokens.
I would do Atom. Like that's the but it seems good idea. Like you just give the reasoning that as ICF has more and more spending, they have to liquidate more, right? Like it's good reasoning. But
yeah, I mean, there's nothing but liquidation if nothing return. All right, maybe there'll be some developments with Neutron. I think Neutron we have to watch closely, even though I don't care about it. It's important. So, unusual club. All right, here, worst tokens for 2024. Short these now. And that'll be the next episode. Go eat. I'm gonna go to the gym so I could
enjoy
my wife.
Sorry for late. Sorry for like talking nonsense. I'm not clever. I don't talk smart things, and I'm foreign. So just and I like talking a lot and meeting people online. So that's
right. Nice job by the chat. You didn't screw us this time like last time. See everyone later. I have some short videos coming out this week, and I'm sure no one will watch them.